I'm Martine Metaxa. I'd like to welcome you to the Quantum Success Academy Coaches interview series on all about becoming life coach. Over the next few videos, I'm going to be interviewing several successful coaches from the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, or more affectionately known to us all as the QCSA. They'll be sharing their initial reasons and their desires and their drive and why they chose to become a life coach, but more importantly, why they chose to study at the QSCA. And not only that, how that sort of like change and studying there changed and impacted their lives. This is so that by the end of it, once you've seen all the videos and seen all the different coaches, you'll have a better understanding of how rewarding both personally and financially it can be to become a life coach. On this video, I'm very, very, very pleased to greet Keith Young, who is a QSCA graduate. And actually the surprise is that, yes, there are male coaches. Sorry about that, Keith. But you actually are one of my only male interviewees on this section. But there is another reason, actual fact, that I'm glad that Keith actually agreed to come on the call, is that Keith actually was a coach before he did the Quantum Success Coaching Academy training, and that's why I wanted to see from his point sort of why he chose, or although having a successful coaching career, why he decided to go into the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. Keith, how many, I think, from what I'm judging from our community, I think we've only got there's about a third are men, male coaches, at least in the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. I don't know in your experience, how do you find the relationship, how many male coaches to female coaches?
Yeah, I think that's about right, Martine, is that there's about a third or so of all the coaches out of QSCA that are coming out that are male coaches over female coaches. And I just found that kind of interesting because I've never really perceived it as a female-oriented career, so to speak. Because I've always just been involved in teaching or something in one way or the other, but anyway, I mean, just from my own personal perspective, and I don't know if I'm unique in this realm, but from all my marketing and my Facebook fan pages and stuff that I have that I use for social media marketing, almost 75% of my clients end up being female over male.
Right. So it seems that not only there's a ratio of actually people seeking out coaches, there's also that ratio is being transferred to actually becoming qualified, probably, by the looks of it. Is that what you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what that really says in general, but yeah, it seems like it's about a quarter to a third male versus female.
Never mind. Perhaps you could start sort of, after they see your video, they may think that, oh yeah, well, I could do that too. But yeah, when I was looking, I suddenly thought, oh wow, I haven't got a man. And then sort of going through I was trying to choose a selection of coaches to see, as yourself, you were already a coach, and then went on to sort of do the course. So I wanted to see, what was it that made you decide to do that particular course. And then there's others that just started out, and like myself, I mean, first coaching certification is with Quantum Success. So perhaps, if you'd like to tell us a little bit, sort of, you mentioned that in your other businesses. So where did your coaching career start? From what angle? Would you like to share that with us?
Okay. Sure, absolutely. I was a machinist for 33 years in the machining industry, in the aerospace industry. I actually made parts for the space shuttles, Titan cruise missiles, military aircraft. So I made all of those. I was a CNC programmer, so I would actually do the programming of the machine itself as well. But I've always had a heart for teaching, going way back. I've done a lot of growing up, Park District teaching. I've done, in Park District programs. not many people know this about me. I'm also a professional magician. I do magic shows as well.
Oh.
And I actually in a community college back in Illinois, where I originally came from, I actually taught magic classes in a community college for 4 years.
Really?
I've done that. I've taught bowling classes. I've taught all kinds of classes. So I then was really unhappy. I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. I won't go into the long story about how I got into machining, but it was never a first choice of a career for me. And
straight out of school, presumably, was it? By age-wise, I would think, if you've been doing it that long. Right out of high school, I went right into machining, but just to make the long story short, my mother kind of just pushed me into getting a job rather than going to college. That's the short version of things, and that's how I ended up as a machinist. But what I like is I've always liked to help people and help educate them on creating a better life, or just pure and simple enjoyment or entertainment, whatever it was that they wanted. And so back in 2003, I was looking into doing something else other than machining, but something I could do from home, and I got into real estate investing, creative real estate investing, and how to buy and sell houses without getting bank loans and everything, all the traditional type of real estate. Mm-hmm. And out of that, I joined a coaching program, and I really kind of took off with that. And then they were looking for other people who could coach real estate investors in that program. So I volunteered for that, as I thought this is something that I just felt right to do. And so from there, I ended up getting trained as a performance and accountability coach for real estate investors and helping them set up their businesses. So that's how I originally got into coaching, and was trained as a performance and accountability coach for businesses. Right. So how did that, there you worked with groups, or you just worked one-with-one, or both? Is that
both, actually,
with both?
Because in our program we do group calls every month, but I also have clients every month that I do one-on-one coaching with them individually over the phone. So it's a little bit of both in that respect.
So is the real estate business still going strong in the US, or how has it coped with the ups and downs of the economy?
Well, there was definitely a big challenge here, and really over the past since about 2006 and up until about 2010, 2011, even into 2012, it was quite a bit of a challenge with the real estate because it drastically went down so far. This was kind of an anomaly in the U.S. to have real estate go down that far. So, but it's coming back strong right now. People are starting to get back into the business.
Good.
Real estate is starting to go back up again. So, it's really starting to come back. So we're seeing some success again there.
That must have been a bit of a stress as well from a coach's point of view, having to sort of cope with that sort of the lack of business or the drop in business. I would think must have been a stressful part as well to coach somebody that is going to be sort of selling property. So, but at least it's on the way back up. That's the good thing. Let's hope that the same thing will turn around here.
Yeah, and it is. It was a little bit of a stressful time for most people, but this is the way I look at it, is with every downturn, there's also opens up more opportunities. So you just had to change your strategies a little bit, look for the opportunities that are out there for buying maybe discounted properties, and that way you can still make money with rentals and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, rather than just looking at the downside. Well, let's look at the opportunities that are there rather than looking at the problems. As a business coach as well, if a business comes to me, I say, okay, stop looking at the problems, let's look at solutions.
Yeah. Because most people, and this will probably lead us into our teachings at the Quantum Success, is that they prefer to wallow in the mud than rather than, look, what am I going to do from here, or what will I do for myself? It's so easy to blame the economy, but then, what are you doing for you? So Yeah, that's a sort of a good angle to go to. So you're still doing at the moment you're coaching, and you're still doing the same business as well, as apart from personal coaching?
Yeah. Yes, I'm still currently involved in, because the real estate side of things, I coach for somebody else, so the head of the program. So I've been coaching with him all those years, but was trained in performance and accountability to get to this point. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, I wanted to start my own coaching business because I'm a big proponent, and I've studied for years on what I call the inner game, which is your subconscious mind, your habits, beliefs, what we call the HABEs, H-A-B-E, your habits, attitudes, beliefs, and expectations. Everybody has those, and we start them, as you know, from a very young age. We start to acquire those beliefs and those habits that we currently carry over for today. So I've always been intrigued and studied the inner game type of subconscious mind and what we can do in relation to our subconscious mind, and that's how we change those habits and beliefs.
So on that point, when did you go to Quantum Success Coaching Academy? Was this one of the reasons to get more, what was the reason to go down that line from a business kind of coaching to the Quantum Success, which is law of attraction based coaching? Mm-hmm. How did you get into it? Obviously the decision, were you actually looking for something that particularly like that, or did it find you?
It kind of found me. Found me. And the reason for that is, and here was, like I said, I've studied Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen and Eldon Taylor, which not many people know about Eldon Taylor, but he's really good.
Eldon Taylor.
Eldon Taylor. He's really awesome on the power of the subconscious mind. And so anyway, my personal coach, and what we did with the real estate side of things too, is we incorporated success mindset into this. So we did whole day workshops on the inner game as it involved in some of our events for the real estate side of things. So I've done full day events like how to overcome procrastination, your inner game of money and how you view money and how you view success, your self-talk. So all of this started, with me also just was being able to expand in that in the real estate realm. So my personal coach and trainer, and who got me started in coaching, he was always a big proponent of law of attraction. And even though I still work with him on a more limited basis now, and just so, this guy actually did our coaching mindset for some of our Olympic teams back in the 80s and 90s. So that's that's who had trained me as a coach. And so anyway, one day I was actually having lunch with him up in San Francisco. We had an event out there. And I have been following Christy and her universal laws for about 2 or 3 years because I'm a big proponent of the universal laws. And my coach, Willie, says, hey, have you heard of this lady before? And here he started following her. So to me, that was kind of like an affirmation that, hey, this is the time. And then he ended up sending me, even though I was getting the emails from Christy, he sent me, hey, here's a program that I thought's pretty good.
Sounds familiar.
And I thought that was a confirmation for me to now is the time to really get certified. And I do believe that having that certification in coaching gives you a little bit of credibility with clients as well. And so I was always studying. I had already studied Jerry and Esther Hicks and Abraham. So I was already studying some of those. And Jack Canfield is another big law of attraction coach.
Oh, big time,
So is Michael. Yeah, and Michael Lozier. I actually went to a Michael Lozier event as well. And he's a big proponent of law of attraction. And this all ties in with that reticular activating system that I have that video out with, because it just all ties in with just everything we do in life. And it's all about that positive mindset or the mindset of focusing in on what we want, whether you wanted to call law of attraction or not. In fact, I'm reading a book right now about the power of the subconscious mind that's even tied back to biblical principles, and he actually quotes scripture in the Bible. So it's been around for a long time. It's just that people don't know how to use it or even what it's about. So, again, to answer your question, it kind of found me. It was just the right time for me to do it at that time.
And I think, Keith, you were probably one of the first students at Quantum Success. When did you finish your studies? What year did you go? 2010?
It was 2012 is when I actually graduated.
Okay, so we're in the first sort of like, not too long since it sort of started up, but it's funny that that's why I asked you, is whether it found you or you went, purposely, consciously searching, because so far everybody came into the QSCA, not so much on a fluke, but definitely I wasn't sort of looking for it. It found me. I definitely wasn't looking for it. So I do believe that it is sort of, when the pupil's ready, the teacher will show up. So that's the way I've looked at my involvement with the Quantum Success. But
absolutely.
Going on, obviously you've got a lot of experience, and you said that a lot of people get it, sort of the law of attraction, or it helps in coaching. Do you find people do accept it so easily? Do they not sort of like question a lot? Sort of, if you say, well, I'm a law of attraction coach, and it's a little bit, in my experience, I've even found that when you tell them you're a life coach, they're sort of, what is that? What do you tell people when you tell people what you do? How do you explain to them sort of, how do you get it over in sort of like your, what the salespeople would say, your elevator sale? How do you get over to somebody that?
And we teach elevator speeches in real estate as well.
Yes.
So when people ask me what I do for a living, or I'm out, and I've had this happen several times, well, what do you do? And you always want that little hook in there. And if you say life coach, you're right. They have preconceived misconceptions about what a life coach is. And so what I tell them do, I says, well, I help people create their ideal life.
Great.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it is.
And then they can start asking questions from there on how you do it. So I tell them I'm a certified law of attraction coach, life coach, and business coach, and I can help people. And so I don't dwell on law of attraction because, again, people have preconceived notions of what it is.
Right. Yeah. That's what I wondered.
It does. And so my coach had told me, and he's a big law of attraction proponent, like I said, but you can't, it seems very difficult to market law of attraction. So if you can start marketing that and kind of come in with the back door of law of attraction and use those processes, this is just a tool. And that's how I explain it to people. Law of attraction is a tool we use, just like all the other universal laws. It's a tool we use to help you get what you want in life.
Right, that's important, and probably for any of the people listening are thinking of becoming a coach, and they may be thinking, well, what will be the difference if I just become a life coach or a law of attraction coach? How do you think that sort of like, how important is it to be certified, to have that certification? Do you think it adds weight to as a credential with clients?
Yes, I think it is important to become certified as credibility to a client. But more importantly, and here's where, because I was certified in performance and accountability coaching, but what does that mean? So I think it's also more important to go through a program like the QSCA, because it just doesn't only teach you and get you a certification, it also teaches you how to become a coach. Because are you a Dear Abby type of person, which in the States here, I don't know if you're familiar with Dear Abby, but it's an advice column. That's all it is. People write in and she gives advice. So you want to be able to actually coach people And there's a difference between giving advice and actually coaching people, because coaching people, as you have probably found out, is also about asking questions and helping empower them themselves, because they have the answers inside of them. So you're coming alongside of a person, a client, to help them see what's inside of them and the answers that they provide themselves. You just need to bring it out of them instead of giving them advice and telling them what to do. See, this is the difference between what I do in real estate and what I do in my own business. Because in real estate, we actually have a program for them to follow. So I'm more or less a coach to tell you this is step A, step B, step C, step D. In life coaching and in business coaching, it's more about, first of all, let's clarify. I have a I call them the 3 C's. Clarify, create, and commit. First, let's clarify what you want. Now let's create. Yeah, absolutely. And then create a plan of action for you. So what steps do you want to do that fits into your life? And then a coach helps them commit to that plan and helps keep them on track. So I think that's really important for a certification to also teach you about coaching itself, which the QSCA does.
On lots of levels as well, doesn't it? Because
on many levels.
It's a year-long course. How did you sort of? I don't think I expected it to be as intense as it was, and I don't mean intense sort of in that kind of like heavy kind of sense. It was intense. There was such a lot of material to cover and to digest, and still going back and sort of seeing all the coursework that we had, and you understand it even better the next time round and the third time round. How did you find the whole course? Sorry. Yeah,
it was, like you said, it was intense, a lot more intense than what I expected it to be, because there's so many different programs out there that, hey, we can certify you in 1 month. We can certify you in a week. So you're basically just take this little test, here's what to do, and then boom, you're certified. To me, it was on a lot of different levels, and not just about the law of attraction, but it also teaches you about, there was a whole business module, as you know, that we went through on how to help build your business and what to expect, and also how to ask clients, potential clients, questions. And I loved it because we had to do, not only our homework and submit all our homework, but we also had to record actual coaching calls and submit those and get feedback on those. I thought that was an invaluable part of the course itself, was getting feedback on actual coaching calls that you did.
That's interesting. And you'd already been, sort of like 10 years coaching? Am I right? You'd already been doing coaching that long?
Yeah, about 6 or 7 years at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. For me, it was the first time, and that sort of like fear of being recorded and sort of making the feedbacks of how's it going to go. But it was, I never forget sort of like putting my first feedback in and getting the answers back, or even listening to yourself. It was such a learning curve, but it was, I don't know, it was so good. It was very, very enlightening, and it was very, very, very cleverly done. And it's not until you actually, listen and see what you are saying to your client and how the client reacts. An excellent learning tool. And I'll probably add there about the law of attraction. Yeah, that was only one module of the 5 modules that we did. So it was, there's far more, the business module, and then the other modules, I'd be interested to see your take back on them. But working on our calls, our feedbacks, and the hours that we have to get in. 70 plus hours at least to get in. Not many coaching programs. How could you do that in a month anyway? One of these courses.
Exactly.
So, I think it is.
And then what I thought was invaluable as well was we also had those pod group calls, which we were then assigned a certain group of people to help us through that and lead group coaching as well. And I think that was a great part of both sides. So it taught you individual coaching, but also that group setting as well every month. So I thought that was very good.
And plus the added benefit of the friends that you make. I think that is one of the amazing things in the community and the people. I mean, I felt like I'd met like more people in a year than I had in several years. And I mean, I don't know whether, I mean, you could actually say it's the law of attraction, sort of, you know, attracts similar-minded people, but really, really nice people. And the amazing thing is that they're willing to exchange and to sort of work together. I mean, where you could see it as a competition-based, you know, sort of, oh, well, I'm a coach and, you know, well, I'm going to do law of attraction coach, so, you know, you're going to be stealing my business. But there is none of that because, well, it's an abundant universe anyway, and, you know, there's clients for all of us, but it's the sort of that feeling of that there's a teamwork there and that nice community. That was one of a big plus for me, I found. I don't know whether you felt the same way, because I know that you're still active in the forum.
Let me tell you something. Our pod group still meets twice a month.
Well done.
We now call it our support group, but our pod group actually still meets. And in fact, one of the coaches who also graduated with me in my pod group, her and I started coaching each other to be able to get our 70 hours in, because it's called a coaching buddy. So I got paired up with her, and her and I still coach each other as well on a regular basis every month.
Yeah, my coaching buddies, unfortunately our coaching buddy team went quite kind of small, probably because of my time differences. I've got a couple from Europe and a couple from the States, so it's a little bit difficult, the timing sometimes, but I think we've got a very good connection, and as you said, it's amazing how we've gone from the group aspect, sort of, so we do our twice a month calls, but now the weekly, you know, going on and coaching. And actually one of mine, I'm actually coaching her more on a business aspect, and she's coaching me, and we're going through the meditations and we're working on that aspect better. So it's really good. It's very good, the pod groups. Yeah. Great feelings afterwards, and you know that it will carry on afterwards. So that's a good point. So, what about the other modules? Because we did like sort of the business module was that was quite intensive really, but we learned some great stuff there. So at least you know, because one of my worries, I don't know how you found this, but for anybody starting out and doing the course, I think I had some questions once that, you know, do you have to wait till the end of the year to coach? And obviously definitely not. You can start that. You were coaching, and I know some other coaches have decided to wait till they finish the course, but you can actually go out and coach straight away. You don't need to have certification to be coaching. I mean, you were already starting, so it wasn't a problem for you. But how do you feel about that? Do you feel that, from your experience, that yes, we are equipped enough to start coaching after a certain point without us getting to the the certification point? How would you feel on that? I mean, if it was a friend of yours that was asking your advice, you know, to become a coach, what would you recommend they do, or would you have what advice would you have for them?
Well, I definitely think that you could start coaching after a certain level, and I would suggest, you know, maybe anywhere from the 4 to 6 month period in, because I think you need some very basics and understanding of what coaching is over advice giving, or even what the difference is between like a psychiatrist or psychotherapist versus coaching. I think that's important to understand. But just to get some of the basic techniques down, which is covered in the first few modules, I think at the 6 month period, if you feel confident enough to go out and that you can help somebody, and I would suggest listening to each individual's different. So listen to your gut feelings, because that's what I tell clients anyway. How do you feel about it? Do you feel you can actually help somebody? And I think that's the biggest point right there. But you don't have to wait till you are actually certified to do that. You can actually, if you feel confident enough that you can help people after having some of the basic modules and what a coach is, I think you can go out and start getting clients right away.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, personally, I know like this, the 4 to 6 month period was a good time. As you say, very important, and that we understand as a coach that you're there to help. You're not there to give advice or just to listen or, just you're all talk. It's not, the client is going to be doing sort of all the work, but it's sort of very rewarding when you have that, the first client, when they get that shift, and you've helped them, and you get an email back and saying, oh, I feel fantastic today because we hit on that and we found out what was causing, the problem. As I said, so with one client, I said, no, we didn't find it. You already knew it. You just sort of you listened to yourself for the first time. So it is, it's a very, very good step. So for me, I mean, yeah, I couldn't have done it from the first day, and I often thought about the other courses that we're offering, a month or 6 weeks or something. I thought, how could they possibly go out and do this job in such a short space of time? It's not really fair on the people that you're trying to help. For me, it wouldn't be ethical to do it, but I'm glad sort of we're obviously on the same wavelength and you feel the same there. I mean, you were coaching anyway, so that was okay for you. So tell me, you mentioned on a couple of your programs, because your name, in actual fact, Keith's website is innergamemagic.com, is that right? Correct me if I'm not saying it correctly. And also, I think your Facebook page is the same.
Yeah, it's Inner Game Magic 1, the number 1. So that's what my Facebook fan page is as well. Inner Game Magic and the number 1. Yeah, and I got that. You're right about the website. It's Inner Game Magic, and what I tried to do is tie in the inner game. Yeah. And since I'm a magician, I tied it all together. And I do believe that there is magic within each and every one of us, and the law of attraction does seem very magical when it's applied correctly. So that's how I kind of came up with the name.
Yeah, that's really good. So that's your motto there. Well, it is magical. I mean, isn't it magical when you see the transformation in somebody? When they've been coached, and it is. It's sort of people sort of become something completely different, and they find a new zest for life when they get in touch with themselves. As the inner game, I like to play with the words, and you're working on that. So I would say that your work is rewarding, Keith. You find it rewarding? Your work?
I find it very rewarding, especially what you just said. When you have a client that has a breakthrough, like they've overcome these fears in their life about being a success, or they're finally getting results that they wanted from day one, but they didn't know what was blocking them. It's very rewarding for you to be able to lead them through some of the processes we've learned and just see their eyes, all of a sudden that light bulb goes on in their head, and now they have this breakthrough, and they have the confidence to go out and actually, first of all, even accept themselves for who they are and not what somebody else expects them to be. I mean, that's a big issue with a lot of people, especially with our American society, saying you need to fit into this mold or that mold. And just to give them permission to be themselves and go out and make a difference for themselves and in the world. I mean, that is the most rewarding part of coaching there is to when you see somebody actually get the results that they're looking for.
And I think one of the big advantages of doing this coaching program is the personal. You get those same results, and you need to have experienced this transformation to be able to help your clients have that transformation, to be on the same page with them. I mean, it's not a question of just walking your talk, but I found that had amazing changes in my life and my relationships. Because exactly as you just said, that you found you do find that new life, that you get rid of beliefs that you've been nagging and you didn't even know you had them, and you suddenly realize that, that's what I've been doing all this time. This is what I've been doing wrong. Yep. And what's so amazing is that it doesn't need such a lot to make those changes. You just need, as you said, the process. It's how it can just that little subtle push, and you can find a new meaning. That was a big advantage for me doing the course. I don't know for yourself, because you've been for many years you've been following, or you've been to Tony Robbins and all the big names. So how did you find that on a personal level? We'll hit on the business level in a minute for the people that listen to this. But on a personal level, did you have big changes?
I actually did have big changes, even though I've been following, like you said, Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen for years. It's all about application. And what was lacking for me in a lot of those other things was just the application into my own life. And the QSCA kind of going through the course gave me a different perspective on things, and that's what I think a lot of this is too, is again giving clients and also a male coach versus female coach too a different perspective. And because males and females think differently and they see things differently, and even as individuals we see things differently. So the QSCA helped me open up my eyes to my own personal life and put forth some of those applications, and that's what I loved about learning some of the processes that went through there, is that helped me immensely seeing where my own limiting beliefs were and helping me overcome some of those own inner game blocks that I've had, and just working through some of the law of attraction processes that we learned in there helped my own personal life, help my own outlook on life, and see things differently in a more positive frame, and just help, again, here's that word, clarity, clarifying what I really want out of my own business and me personally.
Right. Yeah, I mean, clarity is very, very important. And I think, perhaps I read on one of your blog posts, an important word for myself is choice. Because I think that we've been drilled and all these limiting beliefs that we don't really have a choice. We have to kind of like carry on doing the things that we're programmed to do. But no, I think a realization for me is that we do have the choice to either stay where you are or just kind of move on, and it doesn't and we can leave all the other stuff behind. It doesn't matter how we got to where we are and why we are what we are. We can start from now and just go on. That was, and you can choose to do that and make a conscious choice of it. That was very important. That's what came out for me for the whole program. So yeah, on a personal level, I think I would be most surprised if there was somebody that wasn't touched by doing this program. I mean, if anything, you're sort of like you're being coached yourself for a whole year. And you're
absolutely,
yeah. You're not only just like you're coming out from being coached with actual a certificate to go out and coach and share that knowledge afterwards. So that's the way kind of I've experienced it. We touched on, so I mean that's the personal aspect. On the business aspect, because a lot of people might be saying, okay, right, I get it. To become a coach, I'm going to have to train. I'm going to have to be coached myself. I've got to go through all this transformation. What about the business aspect, sort of, because it's logical that somebody says, well, I'm going to become a coach, but will I be a good one? Will I be able to get clients? It is that kind of, oh my God, I mean, you had a business lined up anyway, but for anybody that may be just starting and working, doing this part-time, they already have a job. Would you recommend that they sort of stopped? I mean, how easy was it for you to sort of go into the actual life coaching with this, from this frame and start working? If you took away your real estate business and you looked in your coaching business, how easy was it, or how hard was it to give people an idea of what they've got ahead of them?
Sure. And my coach told me this from the very beginning, even before QSCA, and it turns out he was absolutely right, is that 80% of your time should be spent in marketing your business and learning how to market your business. Because you can be the best coach in the world, and unless people know about you, it doesn't matter, because you're not going to get clients.
Exactly.
And again, it's all about setting your intentions and using the law of attraction and everything you learn about how to get clients. And what do you want? Again, clarify what you want first. But it is work. I'm not going to pull any punches here. It is work every day that you should be scheduling your time in almost every single day, some time for marketing. And that's about, if you don't want to learn marketing yourself, then you should probably hire another coach or somebody that knows marketing to help you with your business, because it is a lot of work. You have to be active, I think, today on social media and just trying to get people to interact with you on social media as well. And again, what is it that you want out of your business? So I suggest starting out, don't overwhelm yourself. I mean, that's the first thing. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to do everything at one time.
No,
I mean, that's one of the things that it is, because I always, there's a little joke that we have learned in the real estate when we were doing a lot of seminars in the real estate side of things is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and you put the rest in the trunk for later. Boom. But so it's about, because I teach time management as well, and I think it's about, people have the misconception of time management. No, you manage yourself in relation to time. We all have 24 hours in the day. I don't care how much money you have, what your social status is. We all have the same 24 hours. So it's about managing yourself. Exactly. So when I start teaching businesses or people on how to set up a business, it's about managing your time. So if you have a full-time job, well, how much time do you want to dedicate to your business right now, and what are the revenue-producing tasks that will get you income coming in? So if you start focusing on those smaller things and getting a good foundation set up in your business, then it'll get easier as it goes along. But initially, especially if you're just starting a coaching business, get on some blogs and some websites and start interacting with people on social media about it. LinkedIn is a great resource for getting good ideas. And so get in some of those type of areas and start talking to people on how they set up their business. So it is time that you have to put in, but it's a business like any other business. You have to put in the time and the marketing to have a successful business.
So true. And on your point on LinkedIn, I think it's probably one of the misunderstood of all the social media. In a way, it's sort of, it is and it isn't social media. It's amazing how many people, and I know business people, that say, oh, I'm on Facebook, I don't need to be on LinkedIn. But I think it's definitely, for a business aspect, LinkedIn is much better than, they're two completely different things. One is a Rolls Royce and one is, well, what is it? It's like a fun runaround car type of thing.
Exactly.
LinkedIn is definitely, you should be on LinkedIn. And what is so surprising, how many people are there without a photograph? I mean, what does that say? Yeah. Don't you just want to send them a note saying, I think you need to be coached. Why wouldn't you have your photograph on your business? It's your business card, basically. So, yeah, I think LinkedIn is something that people do need to get in, and social media. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, though, but the thing is that's what you've got to be doing, getting out yourself. And I think coming back also to our business module, and I think that was one of the good things Christy includes into the program, is that sort of like business building, and how there's a lot of emphasis there on the different areas that you can get into and expand your business from coaching. And it's just as well it is there, because, it's easy to say I'm going to be a coach, but if you don't hang out your sign, or, a brick and mortar shop, if you don't start advertising yourself, people aren't just going to, they may just wander by and pop in, but you've got to be seen. So that is, it's sometimes intimidating for some people, but if we go on based on the attraction-based marketing that we're taught, then we attract our own clients. As you said yourself, with the law of attraction, and it's being clear, though, that what is your goal, what are your goals, and where do you want to go. Your time management sounds very, very good, because I'm afraid I think I need a bit of coaching on time management. I never seem to have enough hours in the day. There's a lot going on, but I'm trying to get myself more orientated. So well, what I actually teach there is time blocking, and that's how to segment your day, and getting you the
just certain pieces of the day at 15 to 30-minute segments. And you'd be surprised how much you can get done if you plan out your week in advance or even your day in advance with just small chunks of completely dedicated time to that specific topic that you're wanting to time block in. So another thing that I wanted to tell people about is YouTube. I mean, I have spent some money on taking marketing courses on, Facebook and now also on videos. I think video is a great marketing tool for you, and you don't have to be on camera yourself for those people who are camera shy. Because you can do PowerPoints and talk your way through these and put them up. Like I have one of my most successful videos is on the reticular activating system, and it's all PowerPoint. But yet, I've got over 10,000 views on that, and so many great comments about it. And then people have found me and requested free sessions just off of that video alone. So YouTube is another great tool people should be using in their marketing.
Definitely. I think video is going to be the way. And as you say, it can be with actual sort of face-to-face, but also with PowerPoint, which you can also then put into SlideShare, which is another great sort of marketing tool to get out there. So you shouldn't really rely on one source completely. What I'll get you to do, Keith, if you send me the link to this YouTube, this particular one that you're talking about, I'll include it in the transcript of the video for our viewers so that they can go and follow that. Yes, I'll be most interested to go and check that one, and I know my husband will, so that's a good thing. No, YouTube is another thing. So we've had quite a few good lessons from you here. You've been coaching us tonight. That's really good. Okay, so actually, you've got some news for us. Are we allowed to say anything? You've got a new project of yours. Would you like to share that, or is it early days? Yeah,
well, I've got a couple of new projects actually, because I'm going to be doing a free webinar on how to succeed in life and business, and it's introducing my new e-coaching program, where I'm just going to strictly, it's more inexpensive than the one-on-one coaching that maybe some people can't afford, but this is going to be strictly by email, coaching by email, where you can send me, it's an 8-week program. You can send me one question per day up to Monday through Thursday for 8 weeks. So, in fact, if you want to check it out now, it's innergamemagic.com/e-coaching. And you can check that out right now, but that's something that I'm rolling out. I'm also re-releasing a new book that I'm doing. In fact, I'm working with my marketing person right now on that. And it should be released because we redid some of it. It's called, Get the Life You Want, a Practical Guide to Using the Law of Attraction. And that's going to be released sometime after Labor Day. In maybe the first part of September, we're going to be releasing that. Yeah. Okay, but we'll... So again, that's a couple of the things.
Good. So, see, obviously, a very successful coach that you built up a very good practice. You've got products. Obviously your coaching programs. Tell me, Keith, you have sort of, I would say, personalized coaching programs. Do you one-to-one on a monthly basis, a 3-month program, or you just make it tailor-made as and when? Because some coaches have different sort of aspects of how they do their coaching and their programs. Just to give an idea to anybody listening to understand a little bit on coaching programs.
Sure. Yeah, I do tailor make them to people. But I request a minimum of 3 months. And what my coaching does is we usually meet by phone twice a month for anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. So I like to work with people at least twice a month to get them the results in at least a minimum of 6 or 3 months. I prefer a longer time because usually we have a lot of limiting beliefs and stuff to break through. But it just depends on how much or what results and what this individual is looking for. I work with clients all the time that say, well, I can't really afford every single month. So I work with them. But, I'm giving you my expertise as well. But A minimum of 3 months, I think, is a good time frame to work with people to at least let them start to get a feel for what they can do for themselves. But I still believe everybody should have some type of coach in their life. And I have clients right now that I coached for maybe a year or more that now is kind of like on a maintenance program, so to speak. Yeah. So we might just meet once a month at a more discounted rate, but I help keep them on track. Or if issues come up, we can do what we call a laser coaching session for 15 or 30 minutes. Some people just prefer that. So in other words, when I run into an issue, then I'll give you another call. We can do a laser session. I particularly don't like that. I offer it because that's what people want. Mm-hmm. But why wait to have a problem? Let's try to avoid the problem.
Very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. But I think I'd agree with you. I think less than 3 months is, you're just kind of like just touching the surface of things. I think if you're going to commit to yourself to, I mean, this goes back again. I mean, we've been basically being coached a year at the QSCA, and there's new things that come along because you're growing anyway. But I think a 3-month period is a good time, and probably more. But it's good to have them so that you can touch in. So in effect, so your e-coaching, what you'll do, you'll answer daily all the questions on your e-course that you're going to do. So that's an 8-week course.
Right.
So
that's
so you've got
an
a variety
8-week program,
of courses there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they can extend after that, but they can send any one question they want every single day, Monday through Thursday, for 8 weeks. And another program that I got, because, again, I create out of what people want as well. I also have a meditation program where I will actually record a personalized meditation for you. I call them a visualization meditation because I think in training the brain and changing those habits creates visualization. I mean, we need to visualize what we want. So right now, I actually offer another program on my website, and I will actually you just fill out what issue or problem or thing habit you're wanting to change, and I will actually record a visualization meditation for you and send to you, and that way you can just listen to it rather than trying to do it yourself. Because a lot of people are hung up on meditations, or they don't know how to do it, but yet they can listen to things and get a lot out of it. And people have said, exactly, and I have had great feedback from my clients when I lead them through a guided meditation and visualization process. So I created that out of what people want, so I also offer that on my website.
Good. So you've got a great, and I'm glad you sort of mentioned all these because it gives an idea of a would-be coach to know that there's a lot of versatility, and there's lots of room to even find your skills. If you have particular skills that you want to sort of include, and different programs, and lots of options, basically. It's not a thing of being just, I just coach one-to-one, because some people do think that's all they'll be doing, in the sense of the therapist just going to, one-to-one, and we're going to just hit backwards and forwards. My problem, you're going to tell me what to do. But the very fact that sort of like group programs and innovative, like just email sort of backwards and forwards. I've actually sort of emailed clients in between their calls. There's sort of an issue's come up, or they're not sure, so there's like feedback in between over email. And sometimes that powerful question comes over, and it hits them. I don't know whether you've had that experience. Yeah, it may be that they weren't ready to hear something on a one-to-one, a live call, but you can send them that question that you may have been itching to sort of like put in, and you got the shift that you wanted. So it's very important, and very versatile ways to carry on the coaching with people. Well, I think, Kate, I've taken enough of your time, I feel, but it's been very valuable because, I've taken quite a lot away from our call with you. Definitely, I know that I've got to work on my time management. What I will do, though, I will definitely will be in touch so I can give the links to your site, so I'll make sure they've got them right, to your YouTube, because I think people will be interested to see exactly what you've been saying, so then get a feel that what they will be able to create for themselves once they get coaching and doing those things. So yes, invaluable. So it's a shame we didn't get you to do as a magical trick. This is why I wanted you on camera, you see. I thought you may just do as a little trick, but perhaps we'll do that another time.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will send you another link, because like I said, I teach a variety of things, and one is about getting out of debt and saving money. And a little trick that we've learned is, when I'll use U.S. dollars, because that's what I know. We spend cash rather than using credit cards or debit cards. Try to use cash, and for every time you receive change, if you get a $5 bill, don't spend it, put it away. And I've done that for the past year, and I've got like $1,100 saved in $5 bills. But I've got a YouTube video on that the link I will send you, and I do magic tricks in that video.
Okay, well that's an added bonus for having Keith Young with us today. That's really good. We'll look forward to that, and I will put the links in that. So obviously the next step would be, for anybody who's asking what do they do now and how do they become a life coach, then I would say come and join us at the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, because one thing is for sure, as Keith's had lots of results and change in his life, I have too, and I don't know how many hundreds of coaches we are now that have come out of the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, but they've definitely had changes too, and it could be life-changing for yourself to become a life coach using the techniques and the processes that you learn in the Quantum Success Coaching Academy. Doors are opening very, very soon. The new semester starts early October, so I know that enrollment is starting sometime early up till September. So I suggest you go and click the link to the Quantum Success Coaching Program. You'll also gain some, I think it's about 4 amazing free training videos by Christy Whitman, who is the founder of Quantum Success Coaching Academy. You're going to love her, because we all do. Christy's amazing, isn't she? You can't not love Christy.
Absolutely.
And the information provided in these videos is very valuable, and you'll get a great idea if you're ready to become a coach. And we'd also love to have you in our community. We are an amazing community, aren't we, Keith? I think there's a lot of energy and friendliness there.
And you know what else I would like to give one big plug for is the coaches within the QSCA with Evelyn and Kelly, and the coaches are awesome there that you're going to have.
Yeah, they are.
And Julie, I forgot about Jen and Julie as well.
Don't forget Julie, she's my awesome teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Evelyn, and but Julie and Evelyn and Kelly, they're awesome coaches, and I have never experienced Julie, but I have with Kelly and Evelyn. And I know Christy has just quality people surrounding her as well, so you won't be disappointed.
No, not at all. And there is amazing support there. If you have any kind of problem, you're not sure of something, all you have to do, it just takes one email and they're back to you so quickly. So you don't feel you're on your own. If you can reach out to your fellow coaches if you need any help. As Keith mentioned, the pod group is very, very good support team.
Yes.
But definitely the back of Teresa in the actual back office, she's brilliant. Anything you want, she's there and you've got an answer. So, on closing, I'd like to thank you so much for taking your time and listening to us. I thank Keith from my heart for joining. It's been a great experience. I'm looking forward to learning your little trick on your YouTube and seeing your magic in action, your inner game magic, and we'll definitely be in touch. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you check out the other videos with the other coaches to give you an idea of the different aspects. And the amazing thing is that although we're all in the QSCA, we're also we follow the same training, we follow the same course, the work, but no two coaches are the same. Each one is unique. Would you agree, Keith? Before you go off there, we're all so different.
Absolutely. Yep,
no
absolutely. I mean, we all have more to give, and we put our own perspectives on this, and we each have our own personalities and the way we relate to people. But, the training is there. But, again, I mean, it's all about individuality as well.
It is. So we look forward to having you in our community and becoming a Quantum Success Academy coach. Thank you so much. Thank you.